Our leadership has made it very clear that there is not going to be any money specified for building a wall. You know, the absurdity of this is there was money in the last budget that was provided to the administration to work on border security. They haven't spent any of it. Another $5 billion, if it were allocated to them, they wouldn't spend it anyway. This isn't about border security. This is about placating Donald Trump's media supporters. And it's not even about placating his base. I think this is just about Rush Limbaugh and Laura Ingraham and the rest of the people he is afraid of offending.
What do you think happens? How big of a problem is it if the government does shut down tonight?
Well, obviously, it's always a question of how long it lasts, and it also is a question of who you are. If you're one of the 400,000 federal employees who will be furloughed and will be going without pay for the period of time, it's a very, very significant effect. It won't be as cataclysmic for the economy as, for instance, the 2013 two-week shutdown was, because this is only a small portion of the government. This is about 25% of federal spending, discretionary spending. But again, for those people, including, ironically, the Homeland Security Department. So there'll be 54,000 Customs and Border Protection employees who will be working without pay. So the irony is, of course, the president is shutting the government down over border security, but he's hurting border security.
You know, even if the deal were done, the deal that we thought was on the table before, that was only going to get us funded until February 8th. It's about 6 weeks of relief that you could be talking about. Why have we gotten to this situation where we are living month to month as a federal government? It's been so long in the making. I don't understand why we're here. I don't understand how we get out of it.
It's incomprehensible, and I think that, you know, the tragedy of this is that this was actually, there was an agreement made on a bipartisan basis for spending for all of these departments. And it was one of those examples of where both sides came together and did something effective. And then the president has messed it up. So you now have a lot of people taking sides over what amounts to a 95% agreement on spending. So no, it makes absolutely no sense. And again, this money wouldn't be spent in this fiscal year. It's not something that virtually anyone who's looked at border security thinks is effective. And again, this is just political posturing on the president's part. And it's dangerous what he's doing, because he clearly undermined an agreement that Mitch McConnell had with him, that Chuck Schumer and Nancy and Kevin McCarthy and Paul Ryan had with him. He said he would accept the compromise that was working on a continuing resolution. And then he backtracks, and he becomes a totally unreliable negotiator. So if this is the way he wrote meant that he has mastered the art of the deal, it's pretty much not convincing to me.
But what do you do about it then?
Well, you know, I didn't vote for President Trump. Unfortunately, he's the president right now, and unless somebody prevails on him, you know, my friend Mick Mulvaney, now Chief of Staff, I hope Mick Mulvaney can explain to him how the Congress works and how he's going to have to work if he expects to get anything out of a Congress, particularly with Democrats in control of the House.
Congressman, what was your reaction to Jim Mattis's resignation letter yesterday?
It was an extremely powerful letter and a very, very scary scenario. The idea that the Secretary of Defense could not support the policies of the president who hired him, it should frighten everybody. And I don't know where we go from here, but again, all of the supposedly stable influencers in the White House have now left. And I don't know who the president has ever listened to, but clearly there's nobody there to listen to now. I mean, Mike Pompeo is basically a sycophant of the president's, won't tell him no. And I'm not sure who's there to provide stability for this very stable genius.